We have 5 different bodies of consciousness. And on the very, very outer, a spirit, an energy that's connected to the supramental body. It's the energetics of intuition and creativity. It's our higher mind and the superconscious. And it can basically attach back to 3 generations from the past. And then we move into the mental and the vital body, and then it moves down into the physical body. It begins with the question of what's in a spirit. Now, along with chi energy, we have our blood, our essence, which is basically our genetics, and our spirit or our Shen. And it's considered a vital substance in TCM, traditional Chinese medicine, as it completes the entire fabric of our physiology, our makeup, and our life. Each of the body organ systems has its meridian, just like the lung channel has the large intestine channel.
When you align the physical structure, you begin to align the energetic structure. So feet are shoulder width, heels are slightly out, knees are slightly bent, hips are rolled forward, small back is flat. You're going to hear me repeat this over and over again because these little details help align the energetic structure. So the same way the physical stance, so the stance is like a circuit board. And so when everything is in the right alignment, then you have the right current, or you can produce the right flow. If something's a little bit off, you may not have the proper current, or it might not even switch on at all. So energy within the body, the meridian system is basically an electrical system. And so when you align the physical structure, you begin to align the energetic structure. Both go together, all right? So rooting is something, so the stance is the physical structure, and rooting is more of an energetic.
Let's tap into the 5 facets. And if you thought of your spirit or soul as being stored in your heart, that actually is not far off. Because within ancient Chinese medicine, these 5 types of spirit minds, they actually branch off from someone's central spirit. So imagine now in your mind's eye, just the warmth and the love, and maybe you bring your hands over your heart and just be in gratitude for the power of your heart energy and the emancipation of what comes out of the power of your heart energy from your spirit mind. And each is stored then within one of the 5 yin organs.
And I'm thinking fiery thoughts and that's coming along with the spirit element. And at first, all it is a purely subjective imagined experience. And then something interesting begins to happen. And this happens for everybody. The only thing I can't predict is when. But there are orders of progression. So the next thing that'll happen is rather than just starting to imagine it, you'll actually start to feel a subjective sensation of warmth in your body. When we take your temperature, there won't be any obvious thermal change, but you'll feel warmer inside. That's the next level. Then what will happen is you'll start to get deeper and more absorbed and in rapport with that fire element. More and more of those qualities will come through into you and you'll start to resonate with that frequency more. And your body, and all of a sudden your body will start to warm up. There will actually be a subjective temperature change in your body. Then eventually what happens is you'll start to get deeper and deeper into that fire element. And after a certain amount of time meditating in a room, the room itself will become subjectively or objectively warm. You'll be able to actually measure a change in temperature. Some of you can leapfrog through those levels really quick, some take a while. But it all goes back to the level of absorption you have in the experience. But that's how it works. It starts with a purely, this is also true with Qigong, although nobody tells you that. And if they told you this from the beginning, you wouldn't have the fucking problems you have with most Qigongs. It starts off as pure imagination. But most of us don't even get that. Just start to move your hands and breathe like this. And no, your imagination isn't engaged. It's just a breathing exercise. You have to have all 3, right? And of the 3, the 2 most important are the breathing and the imagination. You don't have to do a lot of big physical movements to move energy.
Each embodies your capacity to really show up in the world. Now, this is not to make you a scholar, but to help you to step into your higher mind, into spiritual mind management, and understand where these deep-seated emotions and mental tendencies and how to start to tap into when they just are feeling off or stuck or lost, or you don't feel like yourself. Like our bodies and state of health, they are not stuck in a state of imbalance unless something changes.
When the stance is in place, these antennae begin to activate, and then they begin to connect. As they connect and they go upward and then they go downward, past the physical structure. And from there, with the knee slightly bent, over time, this begins to go down like this, and then you begin to develop all these different roots. As you begin to develop roots from the stance, you begin to feel heavy, the legs are more tight. And some of you guys might have your legs might shake a little bit. It's because the legs aren't strong enough to be able to contain the charge. So think about when there's an electrical current going through any wire. If the wire isn't strong enough to contain a higher charge, then the wire will heat up, overheat, or power desert will shut off. So when your legs are shaking or trembling, it's because your physical structure, your muscles and your tendons aren't strong enough to hold the charge. So if you're shaking, that's okay. That's going to strengthen up over time.
Now, the Shen is the first of the five spirit that represents the mind. And the Shen is the spirit of the mind and represents our consciousness. It is the basis of our humanity and our source from which all spirits emerge from. Now, the Shen is the charge of the identity and the capacity for self-awareness, but also how we view and interact with each other, how we orientate ourselves in the world around us. And the Shen is essential for integrating our psyche and our emotional life, since it governs perception, our ideas, our insights, and the ability to really extend beyond ourselves. And it also determines our values, our morality, and our wisdom. And so the mind is what bridges our intuition and is also our inspiration. And it allows one to really recognize their truth and calling so they can show up in the world and really truly be their essence. Now, in the body, the Shen is ruled by the heart. And so within Chinese medicine, it is the original mental life. Therefore, they call it the monarch of all of our other organs, which I think is so beautiful. And so the only one capable of recognizing, assessing, and truly feeling the spectrum of one's emotional experiences, although these different emotions, anger, joy, sadness, fear, they do affect each body organ in a unique way. These organs do not feel the emotion, and instead they reflect the impact of that emotion as perceived by the heart in the form of a physical symptom. So in that sense, the Shen is referred to as the heart mind, giving the old adage that the heart has a mind of its own. And that rings truth, my friend. So given the Shen's role in processing interactions with others and external stimuli, all senses, the eyesight, the hearing, the smell, taste, touch, depend on it for meaning, just like how the brain is relied on in Western medicine. So for this reason, the Shen is said to be the most visible of all spirits, evident in how one carries themselves, since the Shen retreats back into the heart to be housed at night. It really allows you to rest deeply. And it gives you a balanced emotional reality. It taps into good judgment expressed through wise action. Now, to close out today's short brief, we will move into the next, which is going to be the Po. But I want to make sure that we are able to think about just these one elements at a time within this opening of these five spirits. Again, the Shen and the mind. And we just reviewed when they are at their most vibrancy. Now, when the Shen is disturbed and the heart is affected, a person will have cloudy consciousness, foggy brain, poor insights, inappropriate or erratic behavior. And sometimes it can be socially awkward or low self-esteem or having difficulty expressing yourself. Tend to be really hypervigilant and paranoia sets in. And you have a hard time of proprioception, of just understanding your surroundings and being conscious of that, which means you probably have a harder time relating to others. And you don't really have great eye contact. Now, little capacity for compassion and empathy or maybe even some phobias. And all of this is just due to imbalanced emotional reality. It's this fixation, whether it's on an emotion, on panic. And then it all falls down, and we see that your sleep is disturbed, right? And so we can see now the contrast of the Shen mind. It is the heart and mind. It is the essence that represents our entire consciousness.
So this is why we don't tamper with the third eye. We simply focus on the lower dantian and then stimulate the middle dantian. Upper dantian will happen all on its own. It will happen organically. And when it does, I'll know, okay? And actually, you'll know. And so, but in the beginning, there are a few things that from the stance into the practice, there's a couple things that I would call attainments that happen within Qigong. And so we'll get to that in another video. But for now, proper stance and rooting. The physical structure allows for the energetic structure to begin to build. So, much like a battery, your body is a physical battery. And so when you're beginning to practice Qigong, just think of yourself as a AAA battery, and you can only hold a AAA charge. We can't jump you to C yet. We can't jump you to 9 volt yet, because if we send a 9 volt or C through a AAA, it won't work, it'll pop. So as you begin to practice more and more, and also if you do strength training and cardio training, you begin to improve your physical vehicle, your physical vessel, for the energy to flow through. If the physical structure isn't strong enough, you can't hold the charge. So you have to work on building the strength. And over time, you'll find that the stance and the shakiness will begin to go away. And you'll be stronger. As you get stronger, the hands will...
Try not to listen with the higher mind, meaning the brain frequency, the no-see, and really move into the heart of what is being discussed here and feeling the energetics through the voice and into your body of all of these things that you already know to be true. They're just spoken in a different language. And by that, probably the most beautiful, intricate chi energy of essence and life that goes back thousands and thousands of years before scientists got involved. So with that said, thank you so much for joining this first session of understanding what's in the spirit of Shen, how it is the first of 5 facets. And we are going to go through all 5 of them beyond here. If you have any thoughts or comments based on this first episode, let me know, and I'll see you inside the next one. Love and light.